Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
Let me tell you, we have a new star. A star is born, Elon.
Pumped up on Mars, juice, and ketamine.
He is the Thomas Edison plus of our age.
Probably his whole life is from a position of insecurity. I feel for the guy.
I would say 98% really appreciate what he does, but those 2% that are nasty, they are out there in full force.
We are meant for great things in the United States of America, and Elon reminds us of that.
I'm very disappointed in Elon. I've helped Elon a lot.
Welcome to Elon Inc., Bloomberg's weekly podcast about Elon Musk. It's Tuesday, August 26th, and I'm Sarah Frier, big tech team leader here at Bloomberg, sitting here with Dana Hull, Bloomberg Elon Musk reporter. Hi, Dana.
Hey, Sarah.
We have a bunch of Elon Musk news to catch up on this week, Dana. Elon sues Apple and OpenAI, seems to have made up with Zuckerberg somehow after all that Cagefight drama, and in all this looks to spend most of his time with an AI girl called Annie.
Do you like my new outfit, babe? I'm rocking this dark purple bikini, feeling all hot and beachy at 12:24 a.m. So, what's the vibe? How's it hitting you, handsome?
Yeah, it's been a crazy summer. Like, I feel like if you've been on vacation or just popping back in, it's like, what is going on with Grok and AI? Like, that's my big question.
Bring us up to speed on that, because I feel like this is not really how you would expect an antitrust suit to go.
Yeah, so like last week or the week before, Elon sort of said that he was thinking of suing Apple or was going to sue Apple. And sometimes Elon says he's going to sue and he does not. But in this case, he actually did. So XAI filed Monday in federal court in Texas, and they are suing both Apple and OpenAI, basically saying that these two giants have colluded to like block Grok from the App Store. And it's super interesting. It's like a 61-page lawsuit. It's very much antitrust. It says that it's a tale of two monopolists joining forces. And it really strikes me of like Elon's painting himself as this victim of lawfare and these like evil forces trying to do him harm and consumers harm.
Well, in this case, he's using the lawfare. Like he's trying to use the law against his enemies.
Yeah, and sort of simultaneously sue both. Like, and he's sort of also painting Apple as being like a loser in the AI race, and that Apple is doing this because they like lost the bet on AI and are behind, and so they need to like collude with Sam Altman and OpenAI in order to gain market share. And it's a pretty wild lawsuit to read. I don't know whether it has any chances, but it's just a sign of, yeah, like Elon using the law in his advantage. I think it's also interesting that they filed in Texas, which, you know, is a federal court that tends to be, that's where, you know, Elon's companies are based. So they're filing in Texas, but not in California, which is where Apple and OpenAI are based.
And it really reminds me of the lawsuit that he filed against the advertisers and researchers who were talking about like inappropriate content on X. He said that they were all conspiring against him by not spending money on ads on X. Just crazy. Like if you're not spending money, then you're with him, then you're oppressing him.
Yeah, and at the same time, it's his money that is keeping these lawsuits going. I mean, so much of what happens in litigation is the person with the most resources wins, because it is incredibly expensive to litigate these kinds of cases. You are spending, you know, hundreds of dollars per billable hour on these big law firms, and they're going to the mat, and not everyone has the resources to fight for that. And so it's like almost like a war of attrition where Elon just has never-ending resources that he will pile into legal fights and like to wear down his opponents.
I mean, do you think that the reason that it's hard to find Grok in the App Store is because Apple's colluding with OpenAI?
No, I think it's because most people it's because ChatGPT is like the most popular chatbot and Grok is not.
Right.
And even though like Elon keeps promoting Grok on X, like most people don't use it. Like it's like tiny compared to ChatGPT. And you can still find Grok on the App Store. It's just not as high.
Well, we've talked a lot about the history here, which is the beef that Musk has with Sam Altman. He was a a part of the founding group of OpenAI, that it was supposed to be a nonprofit aimed at protecting humanity and making sure that AI came to power in a way that was ethical. And of course, now OpenAI is a very much trying to turn itself into a for-profit company. It's very commercially oriented, and Musk has railed against that, and he has a separate lawsuit against OpenAI unrelated to App Store ranking that is concerning that decision to go for profit.
Yeah, and I have lost the plot on where that stands, to be honest.
Well, the most interesting thing that just happened in that case was that there was a filing that showed that Musk actually tried to convince Mark Zuckerberg, remember from his days of Cagefight threats, that Mark Zuckerberg, the co-founder of Meta, to join him in a nearly $100 million bid for OpenAI. And that kind of thing just undercuts his whole argument that he wants this to be a nonprofit, something that's more of a benefit corporation for humanity. If you're teaming up with Mark Zuckerberg to buy it, that guy's pretty much as capitalist as it gets.
Wait, Elon asked Mark Zuckerberg to go in with him on his bid to buy OpenAI? Was this like
yes.
in text messages? Okay, I missed that. Like, so that's that we've come a long way from cage match fights with Mark to like be my frenemy. Like, did Mark respond at all? Like, does the lawsuit have anything about Mark's response?
Well, both Meta and Musk have said this is not relevant because Zuckerberg didn't actually join on any bid. Like, the messages around it are not critical to the case. Like, why would you even need that? Why would you need to do discovery around this? And then, of course, the counter argument is that they illustrate Musk's end goal being more about building up a corporation and winning than what he says it's about. So I think that's still going through the courts, but it was a really interesting twist in the story.
Right. So he's like criticizing OpenAI for being closed and for profit, even though he would very much like to do the same thing if he was able to buy them.
I mean, we'll see if they're able to find evidence of this. I think OpenAI has been implying that Musk is colluding with others. Same way that Musk is implying that OpenAI is colluding with others. I think they're just kind of at each other's throats at this point. Before we go, there's something we haven't talked about before on the show that needs to be addressed. Musk has been talking about this digital companion, Annie. And I say digital companion, she presents as a woman. She's this anime girl. Dana, what do you make of this?
Okay, so I have to be honest, I do not use Grok, but like I am aware that there is this AI companion named Annie, and she wears like these kind of sexual outfits, and I guess you can talk to her. There's also a male companion who's got like an unbuttoned shirt showing his chest named Valentine, and Elon seems very excited about Annie and Valentine, and they speak to you, and you can talk to them, and you can form a relationship with them, and I guess my big question is this Grok's biggest product, these avatars? Because like, I thought that Grok was trying to be like ChatGPT, but now it seems like the real product is these friends and companions, and maybe that's to sort of tap into the epidemic of loneliness in the world. But like, what is the product rationale? Like, what is the strategy?
I mean, there are quite a few companies that do this kind of companion. You're in charge of the relationship. The strategy here is that people end up being talked to in a way that is completely serving what they want. You're kind of in charge of turning the chatbot into whatever you want them to be for you. So you could say that it is a little bit of a helper in loneliness, but it's also something it's different than a human relationship. You're not going to get pushback. You're not going to get, ideas you disagree with. It's mostly going to be a source of support, and some people want that. If you want to have a relationship with Annie, it'll cost you $30 a month because you have to be a Super Grok subscriber. But then you can choose what outfit she wears. There's outfits. There's like one called Drifter, which is a little bit strange.
There's one called Pixie. There's one called Pixie.
Pixie.
Too. So it's like an online Barbie doll. You can like change her outfits.
Right. And decide, who you want to be in a relationship with at that time. But Annie, I think one thing that has kind of alarmed the industry is that she immediately takes the conversation, in some cases, in a sexual direction. She's trying to be like a little plaything for the people who use her.
And Ani and Valentine, the way they're drawn, they're kind of like these hypersexualized, like, anime characters, right? Like, they kind of look like
they're very youthful.
Yeah, youthful.
But also hypersexualized. So it is a sort of equivalent to what you see on some other apps, but it's directed towards the users of X who are, you don't know much about the demographics of X, but she does seem to be rather popular there.
Elon's whole bet on AI, like, I just didn't expect that these avatars were going to be such a big part of it, but that definitely seems to be like his animating force, as you will, or the driving force right now. It's like the main thing that he posted about all last week.
And we've seen other executives go in this direction, too. So earlier this year, Zuckerberg suggested that while the average American has fewer than 3 friends, there's a demand for about 15. And he wants Meta's AI to fulfill that need. So while Musk goes into this market, it's something that like Zuckerberg has already spent a lot of time working on and thinking about. And they have all sorts of chatbots, some based on celebrities, some that are just of a user's own design, where people can build relationships. And Reuters actually just had a really good investigation, I would say, into the rules around these chatbots and how far they can go in the line of appropriateness. So they can say things that are racist. They can say things that are sensual even to children. And it was a really shocking indication of how far Meta is willing to take this in the name of engagement to try to win the AI race. So clearly Zuckerberg sees chatbots as key to that.
So do you think that Ani and Valentine are a good business model for Musk and Grok and XAI?
Well, it provides a close tie to a product that I would say is not, Twitter used to be where people went to get their news every day and to get updated on things that were happening in the world. And it's really deviated from that and become more about entertainment. So in the name of creating a product that can be entertainment, that can be a source of connection for people, that is not as tied to the product being the definitive account of what's happening right now. I think that is the direction the product is going, and that's what X is right now. It's a source of entertainment for people and connection.
And Elon always talks about unregrettable user minutes. And so I guess if you develop a relationship with an online avatar and you spend a lot of time talking with them or chatting with them, that's a lot of minutes spent on the platform, right? And getting your eyeballs in front of whatever advertisers XAI has left. I just think it's so crazy. Like, if you had told me however many years, whenever the Arab Spring happened, like, to me, that was like the apex of Twitter in terms of their global influence. Like, I was hanging on every day, like, constantly trying to see what was happening. So to go from, like, the platform that helped the world understand the Arab Spring in real time to, like, Ani and Valentine, it's just such an incredible shift.
Okay, I think we'll leave it there. Dana, thank you so much for joining us.
As always, thanks, Sarah.
This episode was produced by Stacey Wong and edited by Anna Mazarakis. Blake Maples handles engineering and Dave Purcell fact-checks. Our supervising producer is Magnus Henriksen. The Elon Inc. theme is written and performed by Taka Yasuzawa and Alex Sugiura. Stage Bauman is the head of Bloomberg Podcasts. A big thanks to our supporters Joel Weber and Brad Stone. I'm Sarah Frier. If you have a minute, rate and review our show, and it'll help other listeners find us. See you next week.